Nancy, hey. How's the investigation going?
Pretty well. You know, it would really help if I could get May to talk to me.
She hasn't given her alibi yet.
No. And everyone seems to have one, except her.
Everyone? Is it possible that it could be someone from outside of town? A visitor or something?
Absolutely. But statistically speaking, crime is rarely a random occurrence.
It's a mystery to me. You have anything you wanted to talk about?
What's the history behind the Hathorn estate?
Right. Well, Judge John Hathorn was born and raised in Salem. His father was a decorated military man who had many real estate holdings throughout New England. And when Judge Hathorn became a justice, he tried to expand those holdings. Much of the land that the Hathorn estate was built on was actually seized property from accused witches.
So awful. I think the land stealing part was even mentioned in Olivia's tour.
Didn't expect her to actually care about the history. At the time, no one made the connection, not even in court documents. But it happened.
Do you think the fire is somehow related to Salem's history with witches?
What do you mean?
Like, is it meant as a symbolic gesture? Because that's how most witches died?
That was a European thing. No, they were more civilized in the New World. We hung our witches. Short drop so they slowly choked to death. A couple more died in custody awaiting trial, and one, an elderly man who refused to testify, was pressed to death.
Pressed?
Yeah. They put a bunch of heavy stones on top of you, over a period of days.
That's horrible.
She did not know the weight until she felt the freedom. Scarlet Letter. Also a descendant of Judge Hathorn. Except Nathaniel Hawthorne was so horrified with his family's history that he added a W to change it.
Wow. The focus on descendants isn't really something they teach you in school.
Yep. We think our world is so much more advanced now, but we have a hard time escaping our past.
Where were you on the night of the fire?
I was at my boyfriend's watching a movie. Here, this is his number. You can ask him.
Have you been dating Damien for a long time?
Yeah, a couple years, I think. I like him. I mean, I really do. He listens to me. Yeah, he's great.
Was he with you the whole night?
I mean, most of the night. I don't think he's capable of arson, if that's what you're suggesting.
You trust him?
Absolutely. 100%. Go ahead, call him. You'll see.
There was this photo tucked away in the guest room.
Now I'm really embarrassed. Such an awkward age.
Is that Olivia and Lauren in the picture with you?
Yeah, we were pretty tight back then. Had to take pictures.
I couldn't tell where it was taken. Do you remember? There were lots of books and candles.
It was probably the... I don't know. Books and candles are everywhere in Salem. It could be anywhere. It was years ago. I don't really remember.
How did Frances Tuttle come to own the property?
Miss Tuttle bought it 30 years ago, cheap. It was falling apart. The former owners couldn't be located, so it was auctioned. She was a bit of a kooky lady living in a ruin like that, but she was kind. I mean, she took in Lauren like a daughter. That says something about someone, doesn't it?
I agree. Deirdre only mentioned it in passing, but you and Olivia used to be friends?
We were, and I guess it doesn't hurt to mention that Lauren was a part of our little group as well. But that was years ago.
So you don't get along now?
Things changed.
Did something happen?
I don't see why this is relevant. Aren't you supposed to be clearing my sister's name? She doesn't need more blame for things she didn't do.
What did she get the blame for before?
This town wants someone to blame for everything. She's different and gets singled out.
I want to know more about anyone who might have a motive for the fire. Maybe you can help if you know them, even as old friends.
I guess. Go on.
What can you tell me about Olivia?
What can I tell you about Olivia? I can tell you that I think her shtick is ridiculous. And that she's doing this town a disservice by selling this silly idea of broomsticks in this double toil and trouble version of witches. This is a place of real history, and she wants it to be a theme park.
Do you think she would have burned down the Hathorn house?
I suppose it would be good for business. People love a ruin.
Especially a haunted ruin.
She is pretty happy lighting fires. But I don't know. I only want my sister cleared.
I know. We're getting there. I can't help but think about the rumor Olivia talks about. The coven.
You shouldn't pay any attention to her stories. She just says whatever she thinks the crowd wants. Real history isn't interesting to Olivia.
So you never heard this rumor elsewhere?
I didn't say that. There are no witches in Salem. Just showy frauds and stupid kids doing stupid things. Don't trouble yourself with ancient history and rumors. There's a real kid in trouble who needs your help.
What can you tell me about Lauren?
Lauren is a piece of work. Olivia may pretend to be a witch, but Lauren thinks she's a witch, you know? They are as bad as each other. The real legacy and history of Salem is what's important, not over-the-top stories and hokey potions and lotions.
So you don't go to her shop?
I've never been in, but I've had the tea. My advice? Stay away from the Senna Leaf. Can ruin your whole day.
Do you think she would burn down Hathorn House?
I don't know. Maybe. If she thought it would help her stay on the grounds. She certainly doesn't want anyone else having it, even if there are historical and legal reasons. But like I said, I don't really know her that well anymore.
Do you remember what you were doing 3 nights ago?
3 days ago? Well, I was probably working here. Why?
You were working at the museum. Can anyone confirm that?
Well, I'm always here.
But was anyone else here?
May was home all day, laying low, and Olivia wasn't here either. I don't know where she was, to be honest. You'll have to ask her.
So no one can confirm that? And you're sure May was at home?
She's barely left the house since the incident. People here treat her like she has an infectious disease. It's awful. And I don't blame her if she wants to sit at home on her phone all day. Ugh. Her parents need to come home. Soon. So, I gotta ask. What do you get out of this?
I get a lot.
Really? You travel around, talk to all these people, deal with all their problems, put yourself in harm's way?
Not always. All right, some of the time. I don't know. It's like there's these small obstacles that I enjoy working on, and they're interesting. But what I really love is the puzzle of humanity. What makes people tick? Why do people do what they do? It's always the hardest one to crack, because sometimes we do things that don't make sense. We're inherently irrational. Know what I mean?
You know, there's a theory about why these specific women were persecuted as witches. Some people believe that ergot, which is a fungus that grows in cereal grains, might have gotten into the food supply. It poisons anyone who eats it. Hallucinations, circulation issues, seizures. It would have made people look like they were possessed. Or made the judges think they were doing God's will. Or make the whole town go haywire.
A rational explanation for irrational behavior.
Just a theory. We'll never know. Anyway, I don't want to keep you. Thanks for stopping by.
Talk to you later. Done. This looks great. Not yet. Yes! Done. This looks great. Now to find a nice place to put it.
You're back! Great. Let me guess. More questions?
I found this flyer in the cemetery. Is it yours?
Yeah. It's pretty torn up, but I'm sure it's mine. Where'd you say you found it again?
In the cemetery, stuffed in a fake ghost. Know anything about that?
Ugh, how do people in this day and age still litter? It's such a shame, especially bad with tourists, you know? They don't live here, they think it's all one big joke, and oops, my trash and now your trash. They should imprison those people. I mean, just for a day, or something.
See you later.
Carson Drew's home number. For business inquiries, please call my office and I'll get back to you. Anyone else is welcome to leave a message after the beep. Hello?
Is this Damien Faulkner?
Yeah? Who is that?
Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. I'm a private investigator currently working the Hathorne House case on behalf of Judge Danforth. Do you mind if I take up a minute of your time?
Go ahead.
Just wanted to follow up on some statements.
Statements made by who?
Tegan Perry,
Yes?
your girlfriend.
Right.
Where were you?
Sorry, but were these statements given to the police?
No. They were given to me, willingly.
Yeah, sorry. I work for Alicia, and I've learned to make sure that when you're being questioned, you always have a lawyer present. I don't want to sound like I'm guilty or complicit, I just know my rights.
Of course.
But you sound trustworthy.
Oh, thanks. How long have you worked for Alicia?
I've interned for her for a while, but she doesn't really pay attention.
You seem to know a lot about legal framework.
I listen to her on the phone. A lot. Anyways, I was with Tegan on the night of the fire. That's what you wanted to know, right?
Yeah. And what did you guys do?
Watched a movie.
Okay. Which movie?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. Tegan did. You know, they're always some kind of vampire, drama, apocalyptic, teenagey, angsty thing. Don't tell her, but I never pay attention. I'm into hard sci-fi.
Oh, good to know.
Anything else, or...?
No. Thanks for talking to me.
Yep. Sure. Bye.
Huh. Yes. I need to get Judge Danforth's permission before I investigate the burglary.
Nance! How's my girl doing?
Hey, Dad. I have a favor I need to ask you.
Of course. Shoot.
I need to investigate inside the Salem courthouse, specifically concerning the burglary in the evidence room. Do you think you could call Judge Danforth on my behalf and get his permission?
Not a problem. You know, this reminds me, next time you see him, you should bring up the Lake Winnipesaukee Regatta.
Dad,
Yeah?
maybe later.
Sure thing. Talk soon. You're all set.
Great. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else?
I'm just really proud of you, Nancy. I don't know how often I tell you that. I think it's not nearly enough.
Thanks, Dad. You know I learned it all from you, right?
Oh, now I know that's not true. The judge told me about a certain lock-picking incident. You certainly didn't learn that from me.
I may have picked up a few extra skills along the way.
I'd expect nothing less. Love you, kiddo. Go get him.
Judge, everything okay?
What in the Sam heck is a Bitcoin?
A Bitcoin? It's a cryptocurrency.
A what?
It's a decentralized digital currency.
All these new made-up digital things just go too far, if you ask me. Nothing's ever been wrong with good old American Benjamins.
As you know, I want to investigate the crime scene. Could you give me the code for the keypad?
Oh, yes, about that. Well, you see, I had it written on a post-it note, but I seem to have misplaced it. It should be around here somewhere. Feel free to look for it.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. I love a good scavenger hunt. There's a number written on here. No glass on the floor. So the window was broken from the inside. Now to figure out which ones were stolen. No. 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 Interesting. 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 All of the stolen evidence was linked to the accused witch's claim to Hathorn House. A CCTV camera? There might be footage from the day of the break-in. Should ask the judge about this. The break-in was staged. The thief must have come in through the door. I went through the missing evidence and was able to get a list of everything that's missing. Judge? Judge?
I'm afraid I haven't been completely honest with you, Nancy.
I know.
What? You know?
Let's just say I can tell when someone is trying to hide something from me.
The reason Carson sent you to Mosem Castle was because I already knew what was stolen from the courthouse. Tegan Perry had assembled a packet of documents outlining her accused witch's claims on the Hathorn house. They were compelling, and I believe she had a real claim. But now, they're missing.
No documents, no claim.
Yes. Oh, what a mess.
Without any evidence or will, what's the legal status of the house?
Well, that is a somewhat complicated question. So many moving parts and interested parties with crossover jurisdictions that...
You're the one who decides who gets the house.
How did you know?
I can tell you're not happy about being the center of such a large decision.
Well, it's muddy, legally, and complicated for other reasons.
Because it's not just who lives there. It's tied up in the town's history.
Yes, not to be taken lightly.
Do you remember any details about the AW evidence?
I don't remember much, unfortunately. Oh, there was this key with its blade shape to spell AW. Very unique. Not sure what it was connected to.
Like this one?
Yes, that's it. Where did you find this?
Mosam Castle. I say both crimes are connected. The theft of the Book of Apologies and the theft of evidence from the courthouse.
Someone is going to great lengths to prevent the AW organization from having a claim on the Hathorn estate.
Any educated guess who that might be?
Practically everybody in this town. Everyone has an interest. Some want it to be a museum, others a carnival attraction. And I'm sure Lauren Holt just wants to live there.
I'll have to dig deeper.
Well, you'll need to do it quickly. I unfortunately must file the papers in 2 days. Otherwise, I lose control of the property and it falls into the hands of the state. And I doubt they give a fig about anyone's opinions from this town.
I love a good ticking clock, as long as it's not a time bomb. Where were you when this evidence was stolen?
If you can believe it, I was here, working. I have no reason to steal the evidence, trust me. It's giving me more headaches than I care to admit.
Do you have CCTV footage from the break-in?
Yes, we do. Huh. I had completely forgotten about those.
Do you mind if I take a look at the footage?
Of course, of course. It will take about a day to get the right footage. Come back tomorrow and it will be here waiting for you.
Do you mind me asking what you were doing 3 days ago?
That would be the day you visited Mosam Castle. Are you asking for an alibi, Miss Drew?
I'm just trying to confirm what everyone was doing the day that the Book of Apologies was stolen.
I know it was stolen. But you know I'm the one that called your dad to have you go look for it to begin with.
Right, but other people might say they were with you.
I was at Salem District Court all day, so unless you're interviewing the fine folks who stole eggs from a plover's nest at Winter Island Beach, or triple parked outside the Wax Museum during the middle of the Harvest Festival, I highly doubt my schedule will have crossover with any of the alibis you're following up on.
One quick question for you, Judge. Do you remember where you were on the night the Hathorn house was burned?
Of course. I was having dinner with my son. It was a very expensive dinner because Jason got the 64-ounce tomahawk chop. And I paid for it like I always do. Ha! You actually suspect me of committing this crime?
No. I just like to get the full picture of who was where, when.
Oh, good.
Right. Thank you, Judge. Also, I thought you should know there's a car parked outside in the handicapped spot.
Huh, you don't say. I'll have it taken care of. Goodbye now.